What is up, F1 Fantasy friends? Whew. This should be fun. This should be a fun deadline. Oh man, there's a lot of questions going around in F1 Fantasy today. Man, oh man. Hopefully everyone is doing well in the chat today. Man, we can go so many places with this. I am very, very excited to see where we all end up at the deadline in a couple of hours. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can see me. And let's just have some good old-fashioned F1 fantasy chaos at the deadline. I see a bunch of people in the chat. I see Eric. I see Noah. I see Ruizni, Virjane. Oh my God, it's Parrot J, Mr. Incog, Zero, Charlize, Reckless Medic, Mad2Boy, this guy Fuzz, Airstriker, all in the chat already. So just make sure you guys are liking this video as we spread the word of F1 Fantasy pole position. We are very close to 6,000. Can we get there on today's stream? I hope we can. I hope we can get to 6,000 subs on today's stream. What are we going to talk about over the next couple of hours? We're going to talk about grid penalties. We're going to talk about Tier A constructor combos, 2x boost possibilities, chip strategy, 4A lineups. I made this all before FP3, and it was all looking hunky-dory. And Lewis Hamilton had to go smash his car into the barriers. Why, Lewis? Why? It was all so simple. Now what do we do? What do we do now if Lewis Hamilton has to have a pit lane start, or if he doesn't make quali? I don't know. I really don't know. That would just throw everything up in the air. Oh my days. We love this game. We love to hate this game. It's so much fun. I can't wait to break it all down over the next couple hours for you. Veer James in the chat. Is anyone considering selling Lawson/Arvid? No. Not unless Lawson enables you to get to Hadjar. Mad2Boy says, good day, you, and hope you're having a blast wherever you are. I'm actually at home. I'm actually just at home today for the first time in a quick minute. I am just at home. My question for your T2, Kimi, Lewis/Max, and Ferrari/Red Bull. Let's check it out, shall we, Mad2Boy? Let me just bring up here. So right now, honestly, I'm kind of looking at my team. And until Lewis Hamilton just crashed his car into that barrier, I was thinking about just doing a little Ferrari up to Red Bull move. Red Bull looks fine. Red Bull looks strong. Let's go check this out. Where did we go? FP3 results. I like where Max is. Isack, a little bit messy in FP3. So not as good as yesterday, but Red Bull still seem pretty on it. Max Verstappen only 0.148 seconds away from Kimi Antonelli. That is very, very good. That is very, very good. So I think those are, unless we hear that Lewis Hamilton is not going to make quali, I think that's where I'll end up on my T2 squad. Let's see here. Reckless Medic, Zero. Oh, is the thing doing this again where I have to... Donald's in the chat. I hope everyone is doing well. I don't know why the chat is not working. Nigel the Crab's in here. Good evening from Singapore. What is up? 2x Norris, Hadjar, Mercedes, and Red Bull too risky. I don't love it. I'd rather... I'm kind of... Got lots of people in the chat. Everyone's in here. Perfect. Love to see it. Iceman is here. 2x Norris might be a little too risky for me. I'm still trying to figure out whether having Hamilton is a detriment or an advantage. I agree. Prague, we got Prague in the chat. Red Bull t-shirt, yes. The Red Bull shirt is on today. That was maybe given it. I did put it on before FP3, so we'll see how that all goes down. Why? Stupid YouTube thing. Ferrari really a drop this week. I think they were until what Lewis did. And now I'm just very confused by it all. Can you just give me a little scroll here, YouTube? You're killing me, YouTube. I don't know why this is happening. Let's see. Your team for the week looking like this, Otto. Good evening from Melbourne, says Matt. What is up, Matt? Hi, Ewan. Are McLaren viable as second A-tier constructor? I'm not so sold on McLaren. Oscar doesn't really look on it. You know who looks on it? Lando Norris looks on it this week. He looks very nice. Oh my God, it's Power J says, my team is Hamilton, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bordello, Ferrari, Mercedes. I'm confused to 2X, Hamilton or Hadjar. Sounds like a good autopilot situation for me there. OMG. But I think I have Hadjar as my 2X boost ranking, so I go Hadjar. 116.7 million. My team is Hamilton, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes. Do I just switch Hamilton to Antonelli as I can't afford Red Bull from Ferrari to go for budget, and switch Ferrari to Racing Bull, Hamilton to Antonelli? And I would just do Hamilton to Antonelli. What are my thoughts on FP3? It looked very similar to what we saw yesterday until Hamilton crashed. Will, hey, we'd love to get your thoughts on Ferrari and Lawson or Red Bull Racing and Alonso. I think in that regard, I'd go Ferrari and Lawson. Rebecca's in the chat. Madhav's in the chat. Great to have you guys here. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday afternoon. Wilma, high budget 119.9. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bordello, Mercedes, Ferrari. What changes should I make? Should I get rid of Ferrari? Can you get, I don't think you can get up to Red Bull, can you? Because I think you'll be, what, 0.1 million short or 0.2 million short? So I don't know if you need to get rid of Ferrari, unfortunately, which is not like a bad thing. Hadjar a hold this week. Hadjar is a huge hold. Yes, Hadjar is a huge hold this week, Nigel. Good question. Good question. Let me go back here. So grid penalties. Fernando Alonso is now taking a grid penalty. Isack Hadjar is taking, I think, up to a 30-place grid penalty. Is that right? And we've got, who else do we have? Lance Stroll is taking a 10-place grid penalty. Lando Norris is taking a 10-place grid penalty. Fernando Alonso is taking a 10-place grid penalty. Isack Hadjar is taking a pretty big grid penalty. So not bad at all. Come on. Let's see. So Ewan, are we using autopilot on T2? I think I am. I think I am. I put it out there. FPL Chase said that he was not a fan of autopilot, and he's a very smart person. And I understand the reasoning for it, but I just feel like it's a good offensive use of the chip. I don't think Rebecca's going to play it either. I think we were talking about that earlier, Rebecca. Hello, everyone. Just started my break at work. Have I missed anything? Hamilton crashed. Could you help me? I have the same squad as T2, but only with 2 million extra and 3 free transfers. I would try to get up to Bortoletto then from Hulkenberg, if possible. Mate, let's see. What do you think of using no negative with Antonelli and Hadjar? No, I don't think so. And then Scouser, let me go find your question, Scouser. Sorry. This chat is acting up today. I'm trying to get all over the place, but for some reason I have to. Okay, let's see here. Hadjar, Norris, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg with Mercedes, Red Bull Racing. How does it sound? I like it. I like it. I think I'd prefer Antonelli instead of Norris, but yeah, good squad, Scouser. Sorry, I skipped the question. 3x with Hadjar and 2x Antonelli. I'd probably swap those, Troll. Sam Norris, yo, how things? I have Hamilton, Hadjar, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Ferrari, Mercedes with 119 budget and 3 for transfers. Thinking of bringing Red Bull, Antonelli, Bortoletto, and slap on autopilot. Thoughts, or am I missing something? Nope, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, to be honest, Sam. Hello from Spain, says Elias. There we go. 2 in slightly late. Red Bull, McLaren, or Ferrari. That is what we're going to figure out. Right now, I'm on Red Bull, James. Autopilot with Hadjar and Antonelli? Yes. Need help big time. I can get your team on screen, but it'll take a -10. Is it worth it? Yes, because you're bringing in Isack Hadjar, who's probably going to be absolutely crushing it. Why does Ferrari look better post-Hamilton crash? Just because if Hamilton did start from the pit lane, he would likely come back through the field and finish 5th or 6th at worst, probably. So not bad. Raza says, I've gone limitless, 2x, Kimi, Hadjar, Max, Lewis, and Norris with Mercedes and Red Bull as construction. Would you change anything? No, actually, really like that, Raza. Yeah, really like that. Still have Kimi 2x in all 3 teams. Is that stupid? Nope. Kimi is a fine hold. Can you expand on Hamilton's possibilities? Yes. Well, I mean, if he starts from the back, well, I think Hadjar has to start from the back. I'm not entirely sure how that works with a 30 place grid penalty. And I'm trying not to skip anyone's question. The chat, my function on YouTube is being weird, so I will scroll back up and get to your questions, everybody. Once we get through the opening salvo here. I mean, starting from the back is good for a tier driver in F1 Fantasy. It's a weird thing, but it's a fine move. It's a fine move. I don't know why. When I'm clicking on things here, I'm not skipping them. I'm just trying to get back to the chat here. Okay, Gambit. Prefer Hamilton, Leclerc plus Hamilton, Leclerc, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, or Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, or Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Spottis. That's a lot of options. Haha. Whatever gets you Antonelli and Hadjar there, Gambit. Can't afford Colapinto or Lawson. Worth it to go to Colapinto would still carry over a transfer. Colapinto did look good. I don't know how he did in FP3. Where did Colapinto end up? 13th behind. I think it looks like Audi, Racing Bulls, and Alpine in that order for quali. I didn't actually look at what we saw. Where was it? What we learned. There we go. Is this it here? Yeah, so qualifying simulation pace, Racing Bulls, Alpine, Audi. So that's interesting from yesterday. And then race pace, I think it was similar, right? Racing Bulls, Alpine, Audi as well. So it feels a little sidewaysy, but if you want to kind of like attack it and potentially get yourself a better budget rise, that's not bad either. So actually I had that up there. Where do we go? Practice debrief. So that's the race simulation pace from F1. What about Hadjar, Colapinto, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Racing Bulls for the budget, or Red Bull for the budget? Hadjar can score you the amount of points as a tier A driver, but it's still a little risky. I would prefer to have like an Antonelli or something in there. I think you can get rid of Colapinto or Lawson somewhere in there. Currently have Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Ferrari. I think I was swapping Bortoleto for Hulkenberg and Ferrari for Red Bull Racing, and then using autopilot chip. Thought that is perfect, Anthony. Very jealous of that budget. Red Bull / Hulkenberg or Ferrari and Lawson. Really tough. If you're okay on budget, then I like the Red Bull Hulkenberg play. I can do Ferrari to Red Bull, but would have to do Lawson / Lindblad to Hulkenberg. That's fine. I think that's fine. As long as we hear that Lewis Hamilton is going to start quali, because I'm obviously on the stream here. If you guys can check the interwebs for me as well, that would be great. Actually, you know what? I'll call up Twitter over here on the other side, and that way we can just check it together while we're going through this 2-hour deadline stream. I hope you guys are all having a good time. Porsche F1 is saying that he's going to stick with Norris, which is interesting. And then Pop Pan Man. Interesting. Very interesting from one of the best players in the F1 Fantasy circle. But yeah, I think that's fine. If it enables Red Bull and Hamilton is going to start quali as per usual. Norris and V-Carb or Hadjar and Ferrari? Hadjar and Ferrari for me. Mate, okay, I think I'm getting this back together. Here we go. Simi Harm, I have your T2 squad with Bortoleto instead of Hulkenberg at 122 million budget. Do I just go from Lawson to Colapinto and call it a day? I really like Red Bull Racing. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like them this weekend. So I might try to be aggressive and go with Red Bull. But there's nothing wrong with just doing the Bortoleto move. I was pretty much going to do that until Hadjar got this grid penalty, so there's nothing wrong there. Nixie says, I'm pretty set on doing Hamilton, Bortoleto, and Ferrari to Antonelli, Hulkenberg, and Red Bull. I have 3 transfers. I can finally use all my transfers. Yeah, we were just talking about that on the Thursday stream, Nixie, that we haven't been able to use our transfers for that long. So it does feel like a good weekend to use them. I think I can get to this configuration, this team here. I mean, this team here can go to Red Bull in one move and I burn a transfer again, which is absolutely ridiculous. But for my T1 squad, if I want to get to Racing Bulls, I would have to use, or Red Bull, I'd have to use all 3 of my transfers. And that would, or no, I just have to use 2 transfers. How'd that happen? I don't know. I don't math so good. And yeah, just kind of keep that as is. And that would be 2 free transfers. Because the thing that we also need to remember, if we are steamrolling into Red Bull this weekend, guys, that Hungary is probably going to be a pretty good track for Ferrari. So you may want to make sure that you can get back to Ferrari quite easily. Just as a heads up on that. Jables in the chat. Good day, sir. What is up, Jables? Happy to have you here. Saharsh. Budget 111.4 million, thinking Antonelli, Hadjar, Colpinto, Lawson, Lindblad, Mercedes, and Racing Bulls are chip use. I would probably... I really don't mind the autopilot this weekend. Really don't mind the autopilot this weekend. Lawson to Bortoleto so I can go Ferrari to Red Bull. Yes, that would be nice. Charlize says, shouldn't Lando be the top pick together with Hadjar? I just like the steadiness of Antonelli. That's why I have him as my top pick. I will not fault anyone for being a braver F1 fantasy manager than I and going with Isack Hadjar or Lando Norris. But I still think I'm going to keep Kimi Antonelli as the 2X in most of my squads. But on my T2 squad, I am likely going to play the autopilot chip. So I don't really have to worry about that. And I will have Isack Hadjar and Kimi Antonelli in my squad. Hello from Barcelona, says Elias. Hope you're doing well, Elias. Sorry you meant autopilot, said John. Oh, John, where was your question? John, hit me up with your question again. I'm sorry. I lost it, and for some reason, the chat is not cooperating today. Ferrari plus Colpinto or Red Bull plus Bortoleto? Red Bull Bortoleto for me. RJ Epic 44. Hi, Ewan. I can't get Red Bull without needing to put a Cadillac or Aston drive. No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yes. But no, oh no. Don't do that, RJ. Don't do that. Never Caddy, never Aston, pretty much. Still on that train. Ferrari, I'm assuming. Ferrari, Mercedes, Kimi, Hadjar, Gabby, Hulkenberg, Lindblad. What's to change? I think you got to get a little bit better at flexing on us, Theo. I think that's it. You got a great squad. I don't know. Unless you have the budget to get up to Red Bull. So, yeah, that's about it. Henry, seems the perfect weekend to drop Ferrari. What do you think of Antonelli, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, and Red Bull? I like it. I like it a lot. This guy Fuzz, I'm too poor for Hadjar. There's no way that you can get to Hadjar? Surely there's a way, this guy Fuzz. Red Bull or Mercedes? Still Mercedes for me. Still Mercedes for me. The negative 10 would be to change Gabby to Hulkenberg and change Ferrari to Red Bull. Yeah, I think points-wise, you should make that up unless we hear that Lewis is not going to start quali. I'm not sure if Red Bull is worth it just for one weekend because Ferrari is probably going to be good next week. That is true if you have 2 free transfers, but if you have 3 free transfers, I feel like it's a good weekend to be aggressive. And I'm very aware that I have been quite passive in F1 Fantasy over the last couple of weeks, and I'm kind of like itching to be aggressive, and there's this like opportunity here to be aggressive. But I have 3 free transfers. I've saved up these 3 free transfers for weeks and weeks and weeks. I even burned a transfer in at Silverstone. And it just feels like it's a good time to attack Red Bull, get that Isack Hadjar, and just go for it. Just go for it for one weekend. And I still have 3 free transfers heading into Hungary. I think I just answered that question. Saharsh, turns out I burnt autopilot in Australia on my main team already, but I don't think there's going to be enough in it, and I'd rather save it for a wet... Well, what would you say there? And I'd rather save it for a defensive play on my other teams instead of no negatives. Yep, that is A-okay. Best driver for 5 million? Probably Nico Hulkenberg. Is Hadjar worth investing in instead of 2 Racing Bull driver? Yes, Hadjar is worth investing in. Paulo can afford to swap Hamilton, Lawson, Ferrari to Antonelli, Colapinto, Racing Bulls, burning 3 transfers, but I'll be keeping Hadjar, Lindblad, and Bortolotto Mercedes no matter what. What do you think? I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Antonelli, Hadjar, Norris, autopilot or 3x, 2x, a no-brainer. I like the autopilot play, SM0010. If Hamilton were to do quality, you put RB as team. If he misses quality, you go with Ferrari. Pretty much. That's a really good summary, Gonzalo. That's a really good summary. Exactly. I have Hamilton, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Hadjar plus 3 transfers. Which comp do you like most? Antonelli plus Colapinto for Hamilton and Lawson. Antonelli for Hamilton and keep Lawson, Leclerc, and Bortoletto for Hamilton. I kind of like the second play. I mean, if you go, well, Antonelli, Colapinto is fine. That's good. I don't love Alpine. Seems a little up and down this week, and Racing Bulls keeps getting it done. I don't know why we keep doubting them, or I don't know. We're just like very anxious to get off of them. But Antonelli or Colapinto does have a little bit of an easier way to get into the budget building area. He needs what, 1 point for a positive for a max price rise. So I don't blame you there, but I think Lawson's going to get that 6 points pretty easily. Triple J is in the chat. What is up, mate? Hope you're doing well. Is 3x this week a good shout? And if so, maybe 3x on Hadjar and 2x on Antonelli. I don't really like using the 3x chip in a non-sprint weekend. I'm not going to lie. What about 5 B-tier drivers with Hadjar 2x and Red Bull Mercedes for the budget upside? You'd have to, what would it be? Hadjar, Colapinto, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoletto? Feels like you're really pinning so much of your hopes on Hadjar in that scenario, but it could be a huge weekend. What would that be? 3.6 million? It's pretty good. It is pretty good. I mean, because what? I would be able to get, yeah. I think you're giving up a lot of points there. Would you say it's silly to leave Russell out of a Limitless team for a Norris, or would you swap back? I probably would get Norris in my Limitless squad just because he is going to be starting with a 10-place grid penalty. So I don't hate it. And I just think I reckon that Russell has just looked better in FP3, but he has been struggling a little bit. But yeah, I think it's fine to leave Norris off of your Limitless squad. I'm at Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoletto, and 1 million in cash, extra top 1,000 for the last 2-3 days. I feel stuck burning Traffers, not knowing if I try and go 2A driver to change anything, getting more. Any ideas? If you can get up to that, could well, you already have Bortoletto. Yeah, so you are in a weird spot there, Super Vinci. I was going to say you could go Lawson down to Bortoletto and like kind of create enough money to go from Ferrari up to Red Bull. I think it's okay. I think it could be very close between Ferrari and Red Bull this week. We'll see what the sims come out with. I'm assuming Ryder will have a sim that says Hamilton starts qualifying and a sim saying that Hamilton does not start qualifying. Current team is Gabby, Lawson, Arvid, Kimi, Isack, and have Mercedes and Ferrari. Thoughts on taking a -10 to change Gabby to Hulkenberg and change Ferrari to Red Bull? I think I would say yes for now, but I would wait for those sims to come out a little bit here. Let's see here. Tossing on McLaren versus Red Bull. What do you think? I actually like Red Bull more. Ryan says, hey, I'm at 111 million with Hamilton, Hadjar, Bortoletto, or Bottas, Hulkenberg, and Lindblad, 2 for. Is it worth going from Hamilton to Leclerc and then Bottas up to Bortoletto, or going Hamilton up to Kimi and keeping an extra transfer? Yeah, I just do Hamilton up to Kimi, Ryan, to be honest. That's probably what I would do. Okay, so let's just rattle through these discussion topics. We are okay. So grid penalties, talked about them. Alonso's got 10 plays grid penalty. Hadjar's up to 30 places. We've got Stroll with 10 places, Norris with 10 places, and Hadjar with 30 places. Alonso. Tier A constructor combos. For me, Mercedes is still a very good play. Even with Russell's struggles, we will probably be looking at a race winner with Kimi Antonelli. Red Bull, it feels like a good weekend to attack with Isack Hadjar starting at the back of the grid. Max Verstappen looks like he's pretty much on it as well. So you're going to get some really aggressive Hadjar points with positions gained, overtakes, and potential driver of the day. If he does manage to like squeak into like a top 6, top 5 scenario, I think Hadjar could get a very good rise. 2x boost possibilities. It's still Antonelli for me, then Hadjar, then Norris, but Lewis Hamilton could creep into this scenario if he's not going to start. Chip strategy. I really like autopilot. Final fix could be okay, just depending on where Lando qualifies. Like if Lando kind of has like a stinker of a quali, but he's shown pretty good pace, I kind of like him a little bit more than if he qualifies P2 or something like that. And then 4A lineups, just a no-go for me, guys. Just still no-go on the 4A. Chat is blowing up. Oh, 6,000 subs. You guys are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is fantastic. I actually only have like a non-alcoholic beverage, so I can't really celebrate all that well, but I promise I will have one after this. Thank you, everyone that is blowing up the chat. Hit that like button for 6,000 subs. How about that? Triple J says, I don't like dirty drivers, so I cannot bring myself to bring Hadjar in. Is Hadjar a dirty driver? Is he? I don't know. Dimitri. Let's see here. Whoa, okay. 6K. 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 Yes, yes. Yes. Crushing it. Crushing it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for 6,000 subs. Thank you for each and every one of you being one of the 6,000 subs. That is tremendous news as we get it all done by the summer break. Jable's saying, hit that like button, subscribe. Yes, yes, do that, do that. And if you really like what you see, don't forget that you can sign up for the YouTube membership program. We're having lots of fun in the Discord. We're having lots of fun in our members only videos. So you guys should come join us there as well. Thank you everyone for the congratulations. 6,000. That's a lot of people. We should expect additional penalties if Russell or Verstappen or someone else's or else botches in Q1 or Q2. Yep, that's true. That is true, Mr. Iceman. But I don't know. Verstappen just looks on it. Kiki, is Antonelli plus Hadjar, Borletto, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Red Bull, Leclerc good? Just need to go from Lawson to Borletto. I'm assuming that means you meant Merc, not Lurk, like Leclerc. But yes, that's still good. That's still great. I like that squad, Kiki. Thank you, Ranger. I'm just going to sell Hamilton if he starts at the back because I don't want to burn a transfer. Fair enough, Noah. I don't know if that's like... yes, on to 7K, Mr. Iceman. You are correct. Congrats. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate all the support there. Okay. Oh, we've got the chat's doing the weird thing. Chat's doing the weird thing here. Ah, goodness gracious. Ferrari's still saying they can fix Lewis's car in time, says Z13. Thank you. That's great. Loving the T3 lineup. It's a little bit all over the place. But if Hamilton doesn't start, then yeah, maybe I just roll that as well. 0.1 away from Mercedes, Red Bull, Antonelli, Lindblad, Lawson, Hadjar, Borletto. Is it worth dropping Lawson to Hulkenberg or Alonso to get Red Bull in instead of Ferrari? I would drop him to Hulkenberg and yeah, get Red Bull in instead of Ferrari, especially if Lewis is not going to, if he's going to start, that's fine. Let's see here. What have we got? Anything about... Yeah, well, we'll just keep an eye on it. Still got an hour and a half to go, which is crazy. Is selling Hadjar to Colpin to fund Hulk to Borletta worth it? Nah. I would keep Hadjar, mate. I would keep Hadjar. Think about going Antonelli, Hadjar, Colpin to Lawson, Lindblad, Racing Bulls, Mercedes for budget over. Or for budget, I'm at 118.1. Any thoughts? No, don't mind it. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Hulkenberg plus Racing Bull or Red Bull or Bortoletto plus Ferrari. Hulkenberg, Red Bull for me. The Ranger. Goodness gracious, YouTube, you are just killing me today. Bortoletto, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Antonelli, Mercedes. Red Bull seems fine with autopilot. Hadjar, yep, that seems fine to me. I've got 120 million with 3 transfers and your T2. What move should I make? I'm probably going to go up to Red Bull. Suver. Thoughts on Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, and Red Bull with autopilot? Yep, like it. I like it. I like it. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, and Hulkenberg with Ferrari, Mercedes. I have 160, so I'm kind of stuck. Think I might be using auto this weekend. Yep, I like it as well. Bernard says, my loosey-goosey math makes me feel like Antonelli can still outscore Norris, so Final Fix doesn't feel worth it for me, and I definitely wouldn't bring in Norris in place of Antonelli. Hadjar has more driver of the day potential. The Lando Hive has been pretty quiet recently in F1 Fantasy, so maybe if he does get a P12 to like a P2 kind of day, he could be on for driver of the day. So we'll see how it goes. Also, like if Hamilton, like if Ferrari wins a race, like they could also be in the mix for driver of the day, that kind of stuff as well. Hadjar starts in Silverstone with a 30 grid penalty. That would be crazy. Ferrari think Hamilton car will be ready for qualifying, says Saharsh. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. My team is Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lindblad, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Gabby. I have 1.4 million to use. How do I get Hadjar? How do you get Hadjar? That is a great question. What is the difference between Lawson and Hadjar? 3.8 million. So you need to manufacture 3.8 million. I mean, the easy move would be Lindblad to Alonso or to Bottas, but good lord, that's disgusting. Oh wait, but you need okay, so it's 3.8 million. You have 1.4, so you need to manufacture 2.4 million. There we go, Ewan. You did it. Good job by you. Mercedes down to Red Bull saves you what? 1.6 million. So that's 3 million. Yeah, you still need something else, huh? Yeah, maybe like a Lindblad down to an Alonso and then a Lawson up to a Hadjar is what you got to do there. Is Antonelli Hadjar? Oh wait, Leclerc plus Lawson versus Antonelli plus Bortoletto and a -10. Leclerc plus Lawson versus blah, blah, blah. Ugh, that is close, but I think I'd get Antonelli in there. Is Antonelli, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Alonso, Mercedes, Red Bull a good team? Only 0.1 budget over. Yep, that's perfect. I think I'm going to be very similar to you. I don't love the Alonso shout, actually, but it's okay. Antonelli, Hadjar, Gasly, Lindblad, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari. Right now, what changes do I think? I'd get Gasly out of there. That's maybe where I would do a Lawson to Bortoletto, Gasly to Hadjar kind of move. Should I move Hulkenberg to Bortoletto or save a transfer? I have 3 free transfers. I would do the Hulk to Bortoletto move. Ferrari says they can repair the car, says Noah. Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. Does Norris get quali points despite the grid penalty, or is it... No, he gets the quali points, and then it's one of the weird mechanisms of F1 Fantasy, but it's something that we enjoy. Opinion on Audi faster than V-Carb during FP3. Could be faster in quali, but I wouldn't expect them to be faster during the race. Virgin. Red Bull and Colapinto or Mercedes and Lawson. Mercedes and Lawson for me. Troll. Worth autopilot for a Kimi Hadjar team or worth wait until I can afford 2 tier A? F1 Tools suggests Ferrari to Red Bull, for Gabby to Bortoletto also, or for Gabby to Bottas also. Ugh, that's tough. Really don't like that Gabby to Bottas move. Ferrari to Red Bull, if we just go to the team calculator. What was the gap there? It was like a 20-point gap. So I don't love it. But if Hamilton starts, then I'd go with it, Theo. Akshay, sorry. Hamilton, Hadjar, Lindblad, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. 3 free transfers. Thinking Hamilton to Kimi and Lawson to Colapinto and save 1 free transfer and keep Ferrari as Hamilton gain a race in Hungary in mind. A-okay. Fine by me. We got a super chat from Brad. Brad, thank you for the super chat. What is up? I have Antonelli, Hamilton, Hadjar, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, V-Carb. Would you just stick 0.8 million left? All your chips. Holy moly, Brad. Well, first of all, thank you for the super chat. I would, I'm thinking about that T3 squad that I've got going. I think our teams are very similar there. If I'm right, can I see this? What do we got? Antonelli, Hamilton, Hadjar, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. Would you just stick? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with. I would activate the autopilot chip, Brad. Not gonna lie, like that'd be a lot of fun. Thank you for the super chat. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. So, but you have all your chips. That's crazy. But good job by you. Let's see here. And thank you for the super chat once again. Opolis, keep Ferrari plus Lawson or Red Bull plus Bortoletto. Red Bull plus Bortoletto for me. If Lewis does start from the back, do you think Max finishes higher than Charles to make having Red Bull better than Ferrari? Oh, goodness. That is some mad loosey-goosey math you're asking me to do there, Ian. I mean, if Lewis starts at the back of the field and gets on a podium, like that's driver of the day, but that wouldn't really matter for the constructor. The only pause I have about the autopilot chip is if something like that did happen, you would really want the final fix chip to get Lewis Hamilton into your squad. But then why not just keep Lewis Hamilton in this Frankenstein's monster of a T3 squad I've got going on over here? Yeah. But surely I could just go to Norris. I think I looked at this yesterday. I'd have to do Norris, and then I'd have just enough for Gabby Bortoletto. Boom. That would be my 2 free moves for that team. He just crashed at the end, Mr. Yo-Yo. Would a Ferrari Red Bull constructor combo be good considering Hadjar starting from the back? Yes, but I would prefer Mercedes Red Bull, if I'm being honest, Zero. If Hamilton fails to qualify, will he be a strong option for the race? I mean, he'll start with -5 points, so that's not great, but he will be such a good option for the race. Yes, he will be fantastic. Probably sneaks into the top 5. So that's 17 positions gained. Let's say half of those are overtakes. That's 25 right off the bat without fastest lap, without driver of the day, without his actual points finish, which would be 10. So yeah, you could be looking at like a 50-point day if Lewis Hamilton went from like P22 up to 5th or 4th. I'm pro going back to 1A constructor build with Racing Bulls, 2A drivers, and Hadjar. What am I debating is whether Norris should be one of the A driver. It'll be easy to get back to 2 Ferrari and 2 transfers. Then go for it, Callum. I have a T3 team, but with only 2 free transfers. What are your T3 plans? Hamilton to Norris and Lindblad to Bortoletto, Skywolf. That is what my plans are. If I had a pet goose, I'd name her Lucy. That's some dedication right there, SM. Okay, now back to who decides about drive of the day? The public. The public decides, Ranger. Mr. Best is in the chat. Why not Bortoletto over Hulkenberg in your T2 squad? Because I want to do this move. Sir or friend? I want to do Ferrari up to Red Bull. And then I have 0.1 million remaining. So I can't do Hulkenberg to Gabby Bortoletto that way. Let's see. Nate, another F1 Fantasy pole position pole setter. Good morning. 118.7 million in the bank. Kimi, Lawson, Lindblad, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, McLaren. 3 free transfers. Just drop Ocon/McLaren and move to Ferrari Hadjar. Any advice is appreciated. That's perfect. That's perfect transfers, Nate. You have crushed it. Great job by you. Red Bull Bortoletto for me, Reese. What is up, Mr. Best? What do you reckon of Antonelli, Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Hadjar with Mercedes and Ferrari? It is A-OK. 24 Leaf says, would need to take an Aston or Caddy with a -10. I would not do that, 24 Leaf. I thought I didn't see your original question, so I'm not sure what you are asking. Did I miss it? You could just text it to me since you're my little brother, so you could just do that as well. Leith24. So thank you for being in the chat. Gav, appreciate that. But yeah, I really didn't see your question, mate. So I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. Yeah, how did I miss it? I didn't see it. Mate, should I do Hulkenberg to Alonso for a chance of that price rise? Audi looks good. However, do you think Alonso can finish the race? I would not go anywhere near Fernando Alonso. I'm not entirely sure if Fernando Alonso wants to race tomorrow. He has openly said that he wants to go watch the World Cup final with Spain. And I know it's probably a joke, but it's not something you really want to hear from an F1 driver that you might be putting in your F1 fantasy team. Is a difference between dirty and incompetent driver? I don't think Hadjar is either of those. Virgin says, opinion on Audi after FP3? I mean, Audi just always going to Audi. They'll probably qualify P11 and 12, lose a bunch of spots at the beginning, get them all back, and end up with a few points with some yo-yo racing, and then we'll be doing this all over again next weekend in Hungary. 114.4 million, 3 free transfers. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto, Bottas, Behrman, Ferrari, Mercedes. Only use 3X and Limitless. What would you recommend? Loving the streams. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate that as we have gone over 6,000 subs. We're almost at 6,010. Wow. Crazy. Only use 3X. Loving the streams. Let's see. Antonelli, Lawson, Colapinto. Behrman. I mean, I wouldn't really hate a Behrman to Hulkenberg and Lawson to Hadjar shout for your team there. On your T1, what's your reasoning for Lawson over Colapinto? That's just what I had last week. I haven't made my moves yet. I still have all 3 of my transfers, but I still am not entirely sure if I'm going to actually go down that route because I can just do this. My little brother just said, I don't think it went through. Current team, Mercedes, Ferrari, Hulkenberg, Antonelli, Gasly, Bortoletto, Lawson. Can go Red Bull, Mercedes, Hulkenberg, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Cadillac / Aston, and a -10. That better be a Cadillac / Aston Martin driver. I really don't want you to do that. But Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Red Bull, I would maybe just keep Ferrari in that regard. But maybe keep Ferrari and then, oh goodness, Lawson to Lindblad and Gasly up to Hadjar. Gavin, that's what I would do. Hopefully you are still listening. Answered on stream. If you are of my blood and you have my phone number, you get direct access to your F1 fantasy questions. That is just a side benefit of him being my little brother. RJ6669. Hi, my team is Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari with 0.2 million left. How bad is that? Not bad. Not bad at all. That's a very similar team to what I have. So I like it, RJ. So then I have 2.6 million left in this squad here. And I'm just 1 million short of going to Gabby Bortoletto, which is unfortunate. But then I still need to get in Kimi Antonelli here. That leaves me 5.1 million, so I might just keep with Nico Hulkenberg there. 2.1 million would also give me enough to go to Franco Colapinto, so I could really switch it up here and use all 3 of my transfers. Haven't really thought about that. It's not a bad idea. But these are just my lineups from last week. I just haven't made my moves yet. Thoughts on Red Bull, Mercedes, Kimi, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Colapinto, Lawson? I like it, but I prefer it with Hadjar, if possible. Abdullah says, who will start last with all the grid penalties? Sounds like Hadjar is going to be 30 places, so he should start last. If Hammy can't qualify, is it worth looking into Antonelli, Hamilton, Hadjar plus Mercedes and Racing Bulls? Yes, it is. I'm thinking about it as well. It's the team is saying that they think they can repair it before qualifying. Valerio, budget 109.1, Kimi, Colapinto, Lawson, Lindblad, Hadjar, Mercedes and Racing Bulls. Suggestion? If that high is not Hadjar, then I would definitely get in Hadjar. But I'm pretty sure it is Hadjar looking at my keyboard. So I think you're fine. I think it's okay. It's not bad. It's not a bad route. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, and Mercedes. Ferrari is a good team, or does it need some changes? Nope, it's a good team, Matteo. It's a good team, Matteo. Never caddy. If you didn't have autopilot chip, who would you 2x? Hadjar or Kimi? Kimi, for sure. Ewan, what is your T2 budget? Is it above 120 million? It is 120.3 million. Let's see here. I am falling behind in the chat because the chat is not cooperating. Saksham says, hey, Ewan, in my top team, I've had 2 pretty bad weekends. With 3x now, is it Antonelli, 2x, Hamilton, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Racing Bulls, and with a -10, I'll bring Hadjar, Gabby, and Ferrari. Your thoughts? What can I do better? So you'll bring in Ferrari for Racing Bulls, Hadjar for Hamilton, and Gabriel Borletto for Lawson, I'm assuming? Yeah, I mean, that's bringing you back towards the template a little bit. But bringing in Hadjar for a -10 is not a bad idea. Ruizni says, worth to use 3 transfers to replace Hamilton, Lawson, Ferrari for Antonelli, Bortoletto, Red Bull, or keep 1 transfer and replace only Hamilton and Lawson for Colapinto. The Lawson for Colapinto move feels a little bit sideways for me this week. I'm not saying that I won't do it, but it does feel a little bit sideways because I think Lawson can get those 6 points in F1 Fantasy. Red Bull and Bortoletto for me, Noah. So I think I would go with all 3 transfers and get Antonelli, Bortoletto, and Red Bull for me. Ferrari or Red Bull with Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg. Red Bull for me. I'm going to have to quickly sneak onto my phone at work and check right before quality about Hamilton. I will come straight on here, so hopefully you can provide the updates quickly. I will do my best, Reese. I will do my best. What chip should I use? I have all chips available except Limitless, says Abdullah. Autopilot or final fix this week? Ferrari plus Lawson or Red Bull plus Bortoletto? Red Bull plus Bortoletto for me. Exact same as your T1. I initially wanted to go Hamilton to Antonelli and Hulkenberg to Bortoletto. Why is everyone going off Ferrari? What is the delta between Red Bull and Ferrari if Hamilton is ready for quali? About 20 points. We've got Mr. Yo-Yo here with a nice little super chat. Thank you, friend. Let me just make sure that question is up there. Much appreciated. You're a superstar, as we are celebrating 6,000 subs today on the channel. Starting with Kimi as my 2x, but if I throw on autopilot with Hadjar on my team, what's the points difference if Kimi wins and Hadjar climbs to like 6th or 7th? Don't see it getting higher than that. So on f1fantasytools.com, we can go look at this exact scenario. Assuming that we don't have new sims. Hadjar's going to start at the back of the grid. Hadjar, it's a 3-point difference. So in theory, the autopilot chip would only gain you 6 points. But it's also the peace of mind that it doesn't really matter what happens to Hadjar tomorrow, that you'll still have Antonelli in the back pocket. Or if Antonelli has a reliability issue and Hadjar storms into a top 5 position, then you get Hadjar as your 2x. It just feels like a pretty good upsidey play. I've been, honestly, a little bit of a wuss, if you would say that, in the year 2026. Been a little bit of a wuss, and it feels like it's a good time to maybe get a little aggressive and just kind of follow that and play the autopilot chip. You don't have to go full in with Hadjar as your 2x. And I've got it. I've got it in my back pocket. Feels like a good opportunity. What if there's never another opportunity like this again? You never know. But we'll adjust. If a better opportunity comes along, then we can adjust for that as well. So I think I'm going to play it. I think I'm going to play it, Mr. Yo-Yo. And thank you for your super chat. That is very kind. Very, very kind indeed. If Lewis is ready for quality and starts normal, do you keep Ferrari or change to Red Bull? I'm going to change to Red Bull. Ian, I think thoughts on Gasly to Hadjar. Is it a no-brainer? It is a no-brainer. It is a F1 Fantasy pole position host because I got nothing in my brain. Hamilton, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Mercedes, Ferrari, Hamilton plus Nico out for Antonelli, Lawson. So I call it, or Hamilton, Ferrari out for Red Bull, Kimi, or a -10. I like the Hamilton, Ferrari out for Red Bull, Kimi. Do we think Hamilton is going to start? It sounds like he's going to start. With 121.5, I could go Antonelli, Hamilton, Lindblad, Bottas, Hulkenberg with Ferrari and Mercedes and Ferrari. Thoughts? Maybe next weekend? Thanks. Yeah, maybe next weekend, Gonzalo. But it's nice that you are there. Just a little bit more budget building, and you can get off of a Bottas Hulkenberg build. Antonelli, Hadjar, Norris, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Racing Bulls, and Autopilot. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Is it worth getting Colapinto, but have to get Alonso and move Lawson? And without this, I can't afford to get. No, I would just keep Lawson. Is it worth a -10 to go from Lawson and Ferrari to Hulkenberg and Red Bull? It probably is, but maybe not. Maybe not in terms of budget building. Horror cow. What happened to Ferrari? I missed it. Should I move Ferrari? Nothing has really happened to Ferrari, but Red Bull just has the upside of Hadjar. And Ferrari has looked a tiny bit off the pace. Leclerc hasn't really looked on it. Hamilton has looked okay. But just Max looks good. Hadjar starting in the back of the grid. It's kind of crazy. Antonelli, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Hadjar, Red Bull, Ferrari with 3 million left. Any changes? You can't really make a lot of changes. No, I think you're good there. Bortoleto versus Lawson. Lawson for me. Alpine have apparently said if the damage is the same as Gasly's, then you'll have enough time to repair it. Another super chat. Cheers for the for a replay. I need to make a gain on Guy in my first year trying fantasy, but okay, just not 100% without budget. Hey, anytime, Mr. Yo-Yo. Anytime you need a question asked, just come on down. Come on down. Thank you again for the super chat. That is much too kind. Bottas and Hadjar versus Gabby and Colapinto. Bottas and Hadjar versus Gabby and Colapinto. Ugh. Can it be Hulkenberg and Hadjar instead, Rupert? Please. Please. Please, Rupert. Please. I still think I'm taking Hadjar. My spidey senses are telling me Red Bull are going to flop, says Reckless Medic. Might just stay the course and avoid them as a differential while everyone else jumps on the hype train. I've been there, Reckless Medic. I've been there. I might still end up there. But it just feels like a good weekend to do it. I think it's because I've been passive the last couple of race weekends. I'm trying not to second guess myself too much and be passive. You guys are absolutely crushing it. We've already gotten like 20, 22, 23, 24 subs in the first hour or first 53 minutes of today's episode. So thank you, thank you, thank you. As we go past 6,000 subs, this channel has 6,000 subs. That is madness. Hadjar to Colapinto for Hulkenberg to, oh goodness, it auto-translated for Hulkenberg to Bortoleto. Nah, I would just keep Hadjar. Andreas, another F1 Fantasy pole position pole sitter who was taking part in the surveys earlier this week. So shout out to everyone that did that. I have Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, 3 free transfers and 160.1 million budget. Not sure if getting Red Bull over Ferrari, but have to change Lawson for Bottas. Would that be good? Lawson for Bottas? Oh, that could be a huge swing, Andreas. That might be a scenario where I don't do it. That might be a scenario where I don't do it. You found the key. You found the key to not doing it. Samsey, 1999, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes versus Antonelli, Hadjar, Perez, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Mercedes, and Red Bull. Autopilot either way, 3 transfers available. Oh my gosh. Are you about to make me recommend Fernando Alonso over Sergio Perez. That is disgusting. I thought we were friends, Samsey. You're just locking in a 0.6 price drop with Perez. I'd either go Alonso or honestly Bottas. Alonso can get an easier price rise, and Bottas can't fall. Bringing in Perez is just asking for pain. Already at 6K, says Paperman. Yes, we are. We are at 6K. Click. I have Leclerc, Bortoleto, Lawson, Lindblad, Hadjar, and then Mercedes and Ferrari with 0.0 cost cap left. How do you think I can get from Leclerc to Antonelli? That's a tough one. I think you're going to have to do a very unfortunate Bortoleto down to Hulkenberg move there, click 10, and then go from Leclerc to Antonelli. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Red Bull. Thoughts? I like it. I like it a lot. I approve this message. Matej, would you take a negative 10 hit to bring in Red Bull over Ferrari? Others are Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Lawson, Hulkenberg, and Mercedes. Negative 10 does take away the upside of Ferrari to Mercedes, or Red Bull, or Ferrari to Red Bull. There we go. Finally got the combination down there. So I don't love it as much, and then you are probably going to have to reverse that transfer next week in Hungary. So it's kind of up to your risk tolerance, Matej. I would probably still do it as long as Hamilton starts quali. Ferrari, Lindblad to Red Bull and Bottas. Ooh. No, probably not. Anon. Let's say Lindblad qualifies 12th, and then with grid drops, he starts 9th. Does he get positions gain points from that straight away? No, he does not. Reese, he does not. Hey, Ewan, slept through FP3, unfortunately. Why was Hadjar 10th? Thought he'd be a bit further up. He had, he stalled out in the pit lane exit, and then he just had so much traffic. Him and Leclerc at the end of FP3 just couldn't get a clean quali sim together because there was just so much traffic everywhere. Samsey1999 says he recommended Alonso clip it. Yeah, I recommended Alonso over Perez. Can we get some context? Can we get some context to this clip? I want that on the record, that it was over Perez. That was it. So you think Red Bull, Mercedes, Alonso over Ferrari, Mercedes, and Lawson then? No, I don't think so, Samsey. Sorry if I misread the question then. That's my bad. I would just keep Lawson then. I would keep Lawson and Ferrari just because that Alonso really could be awful. It could be horrible. It could be dire straits for, yeah, that could be awful. I have your T2 team. Is it worth using autopilot chip? I think I'm going to use it. Autopilot and Kimi Hadjar worth it? Yep, I'm going to use it. Or I think we're going to use it. When do you think we'll find out about Lewis? Probably in the next 45 minutes. Lindblad or Bortoleto? Lindblad for me. Hey, my T3 squad is the same as your T2 squad, but I have 118.3 in budget. Should I switch Hadjar plus Bortoleto, Colpinto, and Bortoleto for budget building? I have 3 free transfers. I just don't think we can pass on this free gift of Isack Hadjar this weekend. I think it is just, yeah, we can't. We cannot. We will not pass on Isack Hadjar this weekend. Akshay, Hamilton, Hadjar, Lindblad, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari, 3 free transfers. Again, Hamilton. I think I answered that, Akshay, and I think I said it was good. Ferrari, McLaren, or Red Bull? Red Bull for me right now. I think he will be ready for quali. Turns out I have to pick either Red Bull, Hulkenberg, or Ferrari, Bortoleto, Red Bull. Red Bull, Hulkenberg for me. If Hadjar qualified 5th and starts 20th, he will get those 10 points for qualifying. Yes, he will get the qualifying points and then just drop down the grid and just start from wherever he starts tomorrow, Crivo. But he's actually going to start from 22nd on the grid because he has so many grid penalties. Antonelli, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes with 1.2 million. Thinking of dropping Ferrari and Behrman to get to Red Bull would need to get Bottas. Thoughts? No, probably just never caddy there. But what can you do? You really can't do too much there, huh, B. Wells? I don't think it's worth the upside because I think you could just be bringing a -10 into your team. Is Kimi, Lando, Hadjar, Gabby, Hulkenberg with Red Bull and Racing Bull a bad idea with autopilot? Nope. I would prefer it with Mercedes, to be honest, though. No one has a clue, says Thomas. That's true. My team is Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Behrman, Lawson, Lindblad with Ferrari, McLaren, 0.3 million with 3 free transfers, Behrman to Perez, and McLaren to Mercedes. Thoughts or any other suggestions? Oh, man. Because Behrman to Lindblad or Behrman to Bortoleto is only 0.6. Oh, that is so brutal. Michael, how did this happen? If you have to go down that route, I can't believe I'm saying this again. I think I'd rather take Alonso because you have a little bit of a chance at some budget upside. I swear there's no alcohol in this non-alcoholic beer. But I am saying things live on the stream like Fernando Alonso is a better option than Sergio Perez. How? How did we end up here? Oh, you guys are giving me a headache. Red Bull, Mercedes, Kimi, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lawson. Let's see here. Let's get a little bit more comfy. Oh, I'm like really slouched down there. Okay. Red Bull, Mercedes, Kimi, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lawson, or Red Bull, Mercedes, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Bottas. The one that does not have Valtteri Bottas in it, Vichez. Hamilton or Kimi? Kimi. Want somebody help me keep the shadows away. Big third place game for England and France tonight in the World Cup. Anybody watching? Oh, the best part about the streams are I've been ignoring them for a whole hour. I'm so sorry. Who will you 2x? I'm so sorry. I love a good poll. It's F1 Fantasy pole position. Also, you can clip that other one. Phrasing, what? And let's see. Antonelli, Hadjar, Norris, or other. Let's see here. Sims are out. Sims are out. Sims are out. Sims are out. Guys, do you think the Sims are out? I think the Sims might be out, guys. So, yeah, I think the Sims are out. Let's see here. I will get here. I'm sorry, guys. I am slacking a little bit. Oh, my goodness. I am really slacking today. Jeez Louise. Or you guys are just blowing it up, which I love. I still have Limitless. When should I use it, says Andreas. Next week, Zandvoort or Singapore. I would not use 3x on Isack and 2x on Kimi. I'm trying to get back to the top of the chat here, guys, because I have fallen so far behind. 110.6 million, 3 transfers. Leclerc, Bottas, Lawson, Behrman, Bortoleto, Ferrari, Mercedes have all the chips, but no negative. Leclerc. I probably would get off Leclerc. And I would try to get off of Bottas as well. So if you have any money, I would go Leclerc to Hamilton. How can you have Hamilton as your 2x and Tier A driver when he doesn't have a car? I think he will have a car. Is Hamilton taking part in qualifying? It sounds like he will. Red Bull or Ferrari and Merc? I'd go Red Bull and Merc. If I have to switch from Lindblad to Bortoleto to get Red Bull, is it worth it? It's not too bad. I don't love it because I really like Lindblad. But I think I'm going to be doing that in my T2 squad. Or not in my T2 squad. My T1 squad, maybe? So, yeah. 1212 says, good morning, Ewan. Does Lawson to Bortoleto, Ferrari to Red Bull, and Lewis back to Kimi sound good? Rest of team is Mercedes, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Hadjar. I have 3 transfers also using autopilot. Yep, all good. Triple Red Bull, a good idea. Go for it. Love the stream. My team is Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Behrman, Lawson, Lindblad, Ferrari, and McLaren, and 0.3 mil and 3 transfers. Thoughts? McLaren to Mercedes. Definitely McLaren to Mercedes. I like that move. Don't love Behrman, but he could do it if it's very yo-yo-y this week. So, everything else looks fine. So yeah. Will I autopilot? I think I'm going to. Unless we hear, I think I'm going to autopilot maybe on 2 of my teams, to be honest. We have another super chat. You guys are absolutely crushing it today with the super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I have to scroll all the way down to the super chat. Hello, Ewan. Good morning. I'm a mess in my T2, having Antonelli, Hamilton, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Lindblad, V-Carb, Mercedes. 1.4 million in the bank and 3 free transfers. Suggestions. Thanks, my man. I mean, you're kind of set up so perfectly to play the autopilot chip that I might just lean into the madness of your lineup, Domenico, and just go with it and just hit the autopilot. So I think it's fine. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going with my T3 squad, and I might change it from Hamilton to Norris, but that's where I'm gonna be at. I think that's where I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I promise. I promise I'm gonna get to it. I don't think I've ever not gotten to all the questions. We got time, guys. We got time. It's just the chat is not being very responsive today. Sky reporting that Hamilton's car will be ready. You know what, guys? I'll sit up. I'll sit up so you guys know that I'm being serious and I'm taking your questions seriously. I promise. Little bro with the TY, you're welcome, little bro. A Rogue Hadjar 2X. I'm in a pirate mood because of AC Blackfrad resynced. Are you sure that's a good idea, Mr. Iceman? I think I'd prefer the autopilot. You skipped my question on screen earlier. Very disappointing. I am sorry, Tafiq. Ask me again and I will answer it. I have Ferrari and Mercedes. Swap Ferrari for Red Bull. Yes. Antonelli or Norris? Antonelli for me. Love the stream. Oh, I think I already answered that, Michael. Michael says, Kimi, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Red Bull, Ferrari. Is it too risky to be off of Mercedes? I don't love it, but I understand the allure of doing it, but I wouldn't. That's all I can say, Michael. M626, I can switch Hamilton and Lawson out for Leclerc and Bortoleto in order to get Ferrari to Red Bull. Would that be worth it? I can switch Hamilton and Lawson out for Leclerc and Bortoleto. No, I don't think Leclerc has the upside this weekend. He doesn't look amazing. Hi, you and great team. Do you think Verstappen can win this race? Red Bull has the strongest power unit. Isn't it good for this track with lots of straights? I would never count Max Verstappen out of winning a Grand Prix, but I do think Kimi Antonelli might just be a little bit too strong. But Verstappen looks like he could be on for a podium, so that'd be kind of nice. What happened to 5B? I don't know. Oh, are you talking about Rain Fantasy? Yeah, because I know Rain was kind of looking at a 5B lineup last night. The little maverick that Rain is. Ferrari plus Lawson or Red Bull plus Alonso, budget and points wise. Red Bull plus Alonso. I'd probably go Ferrari Lawson that one. Hadjar and Bortoleto? Or Hadjar and Bottas versus Gabby and Colapinto. I don't think I can recommend Bottas in your team. Rupert. So I think I would go Gabby and Colapinto, but I don't love it at all. Marino says, hi, mate. Antonelli plus Hadjar, Mercedes, Ferrari, or triple Mercedes plus Racing Bulls. Antonelli, Hadjar. Why are we saying Red Bull greater than Ferrari if you can afford? Just because of Hadjar's grid penalty, Mr. Best. Antonelli, 2X, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Behrman, Mercedes, Red Bull, says Denago, 8933. Is it raining? No, it's not raining. There's just so many AC units running in my house. Don't love Behrman. Can you go? Oh no, you've already got Bortoleto and Lindblad. Yeah, it's fine. That's a good team, Denago. I like it. Well, if Hamilton starts at the back of the pack, then I think people will stick with Ferrari, Mr. Best. Matt Have says, Hamilton, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Mercedes, Ferrari, Hamilton plus Nico out for Antonelli, Lawson / Colapinto, or Hamilton plus Ferrari out for Red Bull / Kimi, or -10. Hamilton, Bortoleto, Ferrari out, Kimi, Red Bull, Lawson, Colapinto. I kind of like the -10 for Kimi, Red Bull, and Lawson. Rusha says, Antonelli, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Bottas, Ferrari, Mercedes. I have 3 V-transfer. Obviously switching Hadjar for Gasly. Should I stick with Ferrari plus Bottas or switch Ferrari with V-Carb and bring in... I might go defensive in that regard just to get rid of Valtteri Bottas. Woosey Goosey, yes. Oh, you guys said that the Sims are out, and we have not talked about the Sims, so let me go get the Sims. The Sims. So my T2 squad, it is just saying do that Red Bull move. Was there 2 versions? Okay, never mind. So we didn't get a second version. So I think Ryder, oh my goodness. Come up here. You come? Let's see. Can we see you? I can see you. Look. Say hi to 6,000 subscribers, Midge. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, bye. Before you tear up my Red Bull shirt. So we're looking at the Sims. Is it better to drop Lawson or Lindblad for Bortoleto to get Red Bull in? I kind of like Lindblad a little bit because he has the updated car this weekend. Or more of the updates. So much cat hair. I held you for 3 seconds. So yeah, the Sims are just saying go with that Red Bull or that Ferrari to Red Bull move. The delta between Red Bull and Ferrari has kind of dropped a little bit by about 5 points. Ferrari hasn't changed, but Red Bull has changed. So that's interesting. Hamilton, Leclerc in the 20s, Russell 27, Verstappen 28, Norris 34, Hadjar 34, Antonelli 38. I mean, yeah. Let's see here. What does Ryder give fastest lap and driver of the day odds? So fastest lap, he's given Antonelli 57% chance, but driver of the day, 25%, 24%, 18, 15. So not bad at all there. I'm going to take those off because they are massive. Oh, wait, does that include? Oh, I selected all. That's what happened. I'm stupid. But yeah, most points and most budget. Is that right? Okay, I guess not the most budget, but or most budget gain. But yeah, feel very good about it. I feel autopilot will have more effect when 4A build is viable and there's a sprint, still a full half season ahead. True. But I think I'm just rolling with it. It just feels like a good opportunity to play it. 45% chance according to the Sims of needing it. So yeah, good work. Yeah, we'll see. I can only do Ferrari to Red Bull on one of my teams. For the other teams, it will be more Mercedes to Red Bull unless I do Lawson to Bortoleto move. That's fine. Gurov, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Red Bull. That's good. No Ferrari, no cry. You and I also don't want to be a wuss. How about this? Run Mercedes and V-Carb and then 2X, Antonelli, Hadjar, and final fix out Colapinto for Norris. I'd probably just bring in Norris, to be honest, because you're going to get more quality points probably. So that's probably what I would do. Would you change something here? Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Red Bull, says Yannick. Nope, looks good to me. I think I answered that question already, Click. I think I answered that, Mr. Yo-Yo. For my budget builder team, should I do Gasly to Colapinto or Bortoleto? Colapinto. Ferrari plus Lawson or Red Bull plus Alonso, budget-wise and points-wise. Ferrari plus Lawson, Lawson, Ferrari, Hulkenberg, Red Bull. Probably Lawson, Ferrari. Russia, Antonelli, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Bottas, Ferrari, and Mercedes. I have 3 transfers. Oh, I think I answered that question. Hi, Ewan. Currently leading Red Bull plus Mercedes. Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Lindblad, Antonelli ×2. I like it. I like it, M. Always good. Hi, my friend. Have Kimi, Lawson, Lindblad, Bottas, and Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes. Would you change to Antonelli, Behrman, Lindblad, Bottas, and Hulkenberg, Mercedes, and... Oh, no! I hit the wrong button! Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, would you change to Antonelli, Behrman, Lindblad, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, and Red Bull? Kimi, Lawson, Lindblad, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Behrman. I don't think I'm ready to go down that Bottas route yet, Noel, so probably not. Pedro, hi, my team is Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto. Is it worth replacing Bortoleto for Colapinto, or with this budget, is it worth going for 4A right now? I would still not do 4A, but I do like the Bortoleto to Colapinto move. Hulkenberg plus Red Bull or Bortoleto plus Ferrari? Hulkenberg plus Red Bull. If Hamilton misses quali and is the back of the grid, what then? Probably just sticking with Ferrari, to be honest. Lawson plus Ferrari versus Hulkenberg plus Red Bull is our dilemma. I'm leaning towards the latter. Congrats on 6K. Yep, Hulkenberg plus Red Bull for me, M. Thank you for the congratulations. Thank you to everyone that subscribed for 6,000 subs. That's awesome. Ferrari and Lawson or Red Bull and a driver 5 mil and under. Red Bull and Hulkenberg. Are they investigating Max, and is Alonso starting the back of the grid now seen on the FIA document bot on X? Alonso has a 10-place grid penalty, but I think because Hadjar has a 30-place grid penalty, he is starting at the back of the pack no matter what happens. Mateo says, I have Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari with 0.4 million spare. I was thinking about using the 3X. I'm not sure if it's Antonelli or Hadjar. What do you think? Would you change anything? I wouldn't use the 3X, but I don't mind the autopilot chip this weekend, Mateo. Lawson or Bortoleto, check my rankings in the top right-hand corner. Grant says, Antonelli, Leclerc, Lindblad, Hadjar, Behrman, Mercedes, Audi. Thoughts? It's certainly a different lineup. I'd love to get Hamilton in there instead of... Can you do like Behrman to Bortoleto and Leclerc to Hamilton? And then hit the autopilot chip. Sims project Hulkenberg to get more than Arvid and Lawson. That's interesting. Is that because of the loosey-goosiness? Wait, where'd that happen? I don't see that. Oh, that must have been on the old Sims. But on the new Sims, it looks like Lawson and Lindblad are going to be fine. Hadjar will get wherever he qualifies, like a regular race, and then he'll just start from the back of the pack. So actually won't matter. Those quali points that he gains stay will be there no matter what. But watch him like qualify P11 now. Ferrari, Racing Bull, or Red Bull, Hamilton, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto. Am I crazy? Thoughts? A tiny bit. I'd really like some Mercedes coverage there, 0. Worth it to put double Audi to get Red Bull in? Yeah, I think it's fine. Hulkenberg, Bortoleto. Yeah, that's good. I'm on Hamilton, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Ferrari, 122.3 million in budget and 3 free transfers. Should I burn all 3 and stay or something else? I think you got to get Kimi in there, Charlize. Jake, Ant, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari with 2 transfers. Should I do -10 to go Ferrari and Lawson to Bortoleto? It's really tight, but I think I would just in case Hadjar has a majestic day. Why is Hadjar starting in the back? Am I thinking is keeping my chips as Hadjar starting in the back because he's taking over the allowed allotment of power unit things and a bunch of electrical mumbo jumbo that not a lot of people understand, but he's pretty much going to start from the back of the grid. And that's going to give him phenomenal upside. Hitanch says, Antonelli, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari with 3 million in the bank. Do you think I should do Bortoletto to Lawson, Ferrari to Red Bull, and Bortoletto to Bottas? I don't think so with Bottas. Lawson, Ferrari, Hulkenberg, Red Bull. Hulkenberg, Red Bull. It's vibes. Or from VCarb and Hamilton to Red Bull and Hulk. I guess I don't know. Red Bull and Hulkenberg is fine. Bortoletto over Behrman? Yes. T1 squad. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes, Lawson out, Alonso in for a Red Bull. Thoughts? No, not Alonso. I just keep Lawson. I have Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad. Oh, I've already answered that. It's funny how Bortoletto maybe 8 million after Hungary. Perfect price rise, guys. To have these next couple of races back-to-back scores of 4 points is enough for max rises. That is very nice. M. Dot. Great point. Mercedes, Red Bull, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, or Alonso. How does this sound? If you go with Hulkenberg, then it sounds a lot better than Alonso. Drop Bortoletto to get Red Bull and have money for either Bottas or Stroll. No, I would just keep Ferrari if that's where you're going to go with that. Carell. Now I have to go back up to wherever I was in the chat. Oh, I'm catching you guys. Hadjar P3 issue a concern. Not for me right now, Michael, but we'll check out X. Lawson and Ferrari or Hulkenberg, Mercedes, and a -10. Rest of team is Kimi, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoletto, and Red Bull. Hulkenberg and Mercedes. Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Red Bull, or Lawson, or Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Red Bull, or Lawson. Bortoletto, Red Bull for me. Thoughts on Hadjar 2X? It's bold. It's beautiful. It just might not be for me, and I'm just going to kind of do the autopilot chip thing instead. APM. Ferrari, Lawson, or Red Bull plus Bortoletto and a -10. That's really close. I think I would go Red Bull as long as Hamilton starts qualifying. Thinking of doing something drastic away from the pack, switching Ferrari to Racing Bulls for budget for Antonelli / Norris or Antonelli / Hamilton, Antonelli Russell combo. Better to stick with the I think I'm going to go do that with my T3 squad, probably with the Antonelli Norris combo, fun and games, SOS. I have already answered that question, right, Matteo? Yeah, I think I did. Lawson, Ferrari, Hulkenberg, Red Bull. It's Hulkenberg, Red Bull for me, Lannister. Thank you for the chit chat. Why is Hadjar starting in the back? Oh, I think I already had that. Hola, dropping in for a bit. What is up, Michael? Thank you for joining. Hi, I have 2X Antonelli, Lindblad, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, and Ferrari, plus Racing Bulls. Think anything you would change? Any chips? Probably not. No, I think you're good there. I think that's a fine squad. I think I've answered that question. Bortoletto, Behrman, or Lawson, Hulkenberg? Lawson, Hulkenberg for me. 3X, Antonelli, Hadjar, or Autopilot? Any thoughts? Autopilot for me. Who will you 2X? Antonelli is getting 85% of the vote. 252 votes 20 minutes ago. Okay, so we're going to end that poll. Apparently that was not a good poll. Okay. Would you hit the AP chip if you had a team with Ant, Nor, and Had? Yes. No. This is just a selfish question, just for me. -10 Red Bull over Ferrari. I'd have to know what else it enables, but it's a little bit closer now, but I think I would just ride with the upside of Red Bull. I guess it might only get you 5 points, so you want to be able to get back to Ferrari pretty easily in Hungary, Blake, but that's where we're at. Also, if I skip your question, I'm sorry, I'm going back, but I'm going to answer the YouTube members' questions here real quick. Thank you for the congratulations, Celery. Hey, Ewan, I just finished late watching FP3 and joined here. My brain is still sleepy. I hope I don't make any crazy calls, Ella. Good luck with the chat. Many messages here today. A lot of messages. You're right, Via Fogli. Thank you for coming in. You're going Ferrari or Red Bull in Team 2? Probably going with Red Bull. Do we have anything? Anything going on at all? Ferrari? are in a race against time to get Lewis Hamilton's car ready for qualifying. They are changing the floor, rear wing, and suspension in addition to the gearbox as a precaution. Man. Why are you doing this to us? Ferrari have told Sky Sports F1 that they are changing the suspension, floor, and rear wing on Lewis Hamilton's car, plus the gearbox as precaution. The gearbox may not be damaged, but the team want to avoid taking any risk. They are still in a race against time to ensure everything is ready for qualifying, which begins at 3 p.m. Really? Goodness gracious. What is Porsche F1 up to? He's looking... Coffee Corner Motorsport Terry saying that Antonelli, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Red Bull, and Mercedes is his lineup. There we go. Oh no, Rob's stream went down. That blows. Sorry, Rob. But yeah. Okay, so we are really making some moves. I'm trying. I really am. I'm not trying to skip anything. I just have to click a chat to get the chat moving. Racing Bulls plus Hadjar or Ferrari plus Behrman? That's a lot of points you're giving up. Probably Ferrari, but maybe Lindblad instead of Behrman for me. Ferrari, Red Bull for me right now. Antonelli fastest lap confirmed. That's all I need. Mercedes Lawson to Red Bull Colapinto, or Ferrari Lawson to Red Bull Hulkenberg, or go ball to the wall and take a -10 for autopilot. I would do Ferrari Lawson to Red Bull Hulkenberg. Mr. Iceman. That is what I would do. Where can I see the Sims? F1fantasytools.com, which if you use promo code not UN50, POLE50, you can get 50% off your first month. So hopefully that would go all nice for y'all as well. Let me move that over a tiny bit. There we go. Are you going for Ham 2X in your T1? No, I will not be doing that. Morning, to get Red Bull worth it if I have to go from Lawson's Bortoleto with 3 transfers? Yes. Surely France doesn't blunder against a team that parked the bus with 35 minutes left against Argentina, right? Ooh. No, I'm not concerned about Hadjar. I have done my predictions, I promise. We're just running out of time a little bit. I guess I can go double check them. Edit predictions. God, that looks bad. Let's get this out of here. We're going to go Kimi, Max, Lando. I'm going to change that to Kimi. Who qualifies highest? Oh, I'm going to go Gabby Bortz. Will Racing Bulls get both cars? I'm going to say no this week. I think they might not. Say Ferrari. Say there's lots of qualified finishers. Which team will score the most points? It might be McLaren. Will it be? No, it's okay. We'll go with Racing Bull or Red Bull. That's easy. Who will set the fastest lap of the race? I think I'm just going to go with Kimi Antonelli. Then will we see a new Belgian Grand Prix winner? Yes, because Kimi Antonelli is going to win. There we go. Okay. I wonder if changing Hamilton to Norris and hope to get overtake points is worth trying, but Hamilton might not make quali either, so who knows? Sunblood. My teams are converging together. It seems Mercedes, Red Bull with Kimi and Hadjar is the meta, and budget's too similar to change anything else. Could use 3X in one team to differentiate a bit. I'd love to save the 3X chip for a sprint weekend, Bayron. But yeah, I'm kind of also getting an itchy trigger finger as well. I have Kimi, Hadjar, Lindblad, Lawson, and Hulkenberg along with Ferrari and Mercedes. Any suggestions to the team, please? I have Kimi. No notes. It looks solid. Unless you have the budget to go straight from Ferrari to Red Bull. That's what I'm going to do. How about final fix? Run V-Carb, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, and Borletto, and 2x Colapinto, and then final fix Colapinto out 2x for Antonelli. That seems like a lot of effort just to play the final fix chip. No Ferrari, no cry. I probably won't be doing that. What am I doing for my teams? I don't feel good about that. Thank you for the questions, Krivo and Divyan. Okay, so here's where I'm at right now. I'm assuming Lewis Hamilton is going to be okay for qualifying. If that is the case, I will be taking Lewis Hamilton on my squad for Kimi Antonelli, and then I will probably be bringing Red Bull in, and then that leaves me 2.1 million in the bank. And I could do the Lawson to Colapinto move, but I probably won't, because then I will just have 3 free transfers for Hungary, and I prefer that. And I think Lawson can get 6 points. So that's what I'll do for my T1. Hamilton and Ferrari out for Antonelli and Red Bull. On the T2 squad, it's probably just going to be one move and burn another transfer, which is absolutely redonkulous. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Red Bull, Mercedes. And probably play the autopilot chip. And then on this squad, it's going to be Lindblad down to Gabby Borletto. Down there. And then Hamilton up to Lando Norris, and probably play the autopilot chip on this team as well. So that's where I'm at with all 3 of my squads. I just haven't made those moves yet because it's still 30 minutes to go. And we got things to do. And we just have to hope that we can get some confirmation about what's going on. The Flame. My laptop is a GP2 engine and fell apart, hanging out here until the deadline. What is up, Rob? I am so sorry about your laptop. That sucks. Behrman, Alonso, or Bottas? Probably Behrman, but I hate it. How do you feel about 3x on Antonelli and 2x on Hadjar? I don't feel good about it. Jason, what is up, Jason? Good morning. Antonelli Verstappen. Colapinto, Lindblad, Borletto, Mercedes, Racing Bulls. I would prefer... Nah, go for it. Sounds like fun to me, Jason. Why Hamilton? Only if he starts at the back. And it's, nope. Pulse. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoletto. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Mercedes, Ferrari. Should I go Bortoletto to Hulkenberg or Ferrari to Ripple? Yes, you should. As long as Lewis Hamilton is starting qualifying. Matteo, I answered your question. So please go back and find it. Trinituber. Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Lindblad, Mercedes locked in, but I need to drop Lawson for Bottas to go from Ferrari to Red Bull. Worth it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Antonelli gets 45 points with pole win, fastest lap. I'm not using autopilot for that reason. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. How hard... Man, my mouth. My brain and my mouth. It's not working all that well today. Pole win, fastest lap for Antonelli. 45 points. Hadjar would need driver of the day. Let's say Hadjar qualifies 8th. That's 3 points. 42 points. Let's say Hadjar gets driver of the day. 32 points. So he still needs to go up 16 positions with overtakes. And then his finish, which would be what, 8 points? Maybe it's not as locked in as I think. But I still want to play on the T3 squad, no matter what. Feel pretty good about it. 124 votes. Would you hit the autopilot chip if you had a team with Antonelli, Norris, and Hadjar? Yes, 73% of you. Samsey says, Red Bull feels aggressive and potential to score, and Ferrari feels defensive and more safe with the reliability, etc. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a good way to put it. Samuel says, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Red Bull. I maxed out budget. Any transfers is autopilot worth it? Well, M.Dot now has me all rethinking the autopilot. I'm still going to play on my T3 squad, whoever I bring in, whether it's I keep Norris or Hamilton or whatever. What's the best line for 110 million budget? I would just go to f1fantasytools.com, Tushar, and go to their team calculator, and that will help you a lot better than me. For my budget, I can do Ferrari, Red Bull, and top B tier drivers, or Mercedes Red Bull with either Perez or Alonso. If you have to go down that route, I probably would go with Alonso over Perez, just because you might be able to squeak out 0.6 million in extra budget. And I'd really like to have Mercedes this weekend. What is the best team for 121.9 million? Probably going to go to team calculator on f1fantasytools.com. You can use promo code PULL50 and get 50% off your first month and have a grand old time. Is going triple Racing Bulls too risky? No, I've done it at times this year and it usually goes out pretty well. Okay. Mr. Can I restore the chat over here? Let me see. Let me see here. Where are you at? I am so far behind. Look at this. But I'm just trying to find. There you go. Oh, come on, man. What is happening here? Antonelli and Hadjar. All the streams are having a hard time today. Mateo. There you at. Let me see here. I'm just going to put you in a timeout. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to get this chat back up and running. Pop out the chat. Should be good to go. Does this work? That didn't work. Goodness gracious. You gotta love technology, folks. You've got to love the technology. Try this again. Boom! Just joined. Will Hamilton be on time? I don't know. I really don't know. Yes, it was a DNF for Rob. Sorry, Rob. That sucks. Autopilot on all three teams or only one or two? Probably just one for me. Ferrari have changed the suspension, gearbox, floor, and rear wing on L8's car. Engine has already fired up and Ferrari are happy with it, says Samsey. Can you let us know where you saw that, Samsey? Can you let us know? I'd love to see that somewhere. Let's see. 25 minutes ago, there is no rain around Spa. Dry qualifying session is highly likely. Rob has locked in his team. Ferrari to Red Bull, Hamilton to Antonelli, Lawson to Bortoletto. Playing the Red Bull upside, referring to Antonelli, downgrading Lawson to enable these moves. Autopilot on T3 team only. I apologize for the stream. We'll buy a new laptop soon, I think. Yes. 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 Got to get that YouTube ad money going a little bit better. Oh my goodness. I am so far behind. And I reset the chat. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. If Rob replaces his power unit on the laptop to 10 sorry, that's the rule. Yeah, that is true. That is true, Rob. Okay. I have lost my spot. And yeah. I don't even know where I ended up. I just prefer the odds in a sprint weekend. Okay. Do we believe in Red Bull so much that we're ready to take both Audis considering the reliability issues? I don't think it's that bad. The reliability issues, I think, are a little overhyped. Hulkenberg's DNF last week was bad. But the DNF in Spain wasn't his fault. For Red Bull, I either need to go Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, or Lindblad, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg. Which do you prefer? Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, or Lindblad, Bortoletto? I like the Lawson, Lindblad, Hulkenberg. Rebecca? -10 to get Racing Bulls? That's really on the fence. I think I would, just because it feels like an aggressive play this week, but it's close. Don't use a wild card for -10. I do not know what's going on with my chat, guys. I am really sorry. This is my bad. Kitty cat sighting, the stream is complete. Okay, so that must mean I'm that far behind. I don't even know what's going on. And I also need to make my moves. Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Red Bull. Would you throw on a no negative? I would not. No, I think you're fine. Pross. My budget build team for second half mini league is nearly $125 million budget. I need a 2B tier to go for $3.6 million increase. Do you prefer Alpine or Audi? Other being Red Bull. I prefer Alpine. Because what? They only have 1 week left, right? Of being an A tier asset? Is that right? -10 to get Lawson in over Bottas. Yeah, probably to get off of Valtteri Bottas, yes. Is it worth it to use Alonso to get to Red Bull? It's so risky, I probably wouldn't do it. I have Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Gasly, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Should I get -10 for Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Alonso, Colapinto, Mercedes, Red Bull, or should I just change Gasly for Colapinto and roll over transfer next? I would just roll it over, Drew. I think you should put Never Caddy somewhere on the screen itself. I think you're right. DSLM-PA, Ferrari, Mercedes, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Antonelli, Hadjar, Colapinto. Would you use autopilot chip? And would you make any changes? I think I might resist the temptation for autopilot chip on my T2 team. So, ridiculous decisions on such a straightforward weekend. You are so right, Blake. Yeah. Ferrari out, Red Bull in. What'd you say? I say yes. Red Bull, Ferrari this weekend. I say Red Bull. I think I prefer 2x Antonelli and keeping final fix than autopilot, says Matt. I think I'm going towards that as well. I have a problem. Have Hamilton, Hadjar, Lindblad, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Mercedes, and 117.2. And to change to Mercedes, Red Bull, Antonelli, Hadjar, I can only take Alonso, Perez, or Bottas. Help. Ugh, I guess I would take Alonso. Hamilton out, Norris in. Yeah, I guess. I don't like I don't love Limitless this week, but it's not the worst non like low over. It's very it could be a very yo-yo-y race as my stream continues to die or my chat continues to die. JB says, "Can you please look at my question?" JB, where are you at? Where are you, JB? Can you ask it again, JB? I'm literally at the bottom of the chat now, and I don't know why, but it won't let me scroll past. Oh, wait, do I see you? No. Where are you at, JB? Come on. Come on, JB. Where are we? I'm scrolling, and now it's lost again. And yeah, I don't know what happened, JB, but ask it again, and I will answer it since you are a member of the YouTube Fantasy Pole Position Pole Sitters. Manny, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Mercedes, Red Bull for free. Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Colapinto. Nah, I would just keep it for free. I'd keep it for free, Manny. That's a good shout though. I might just do Ferrari to Red Bull, Logan. Yeah, ask it again, JB. Sorry about that. Because I have lost it. I can't, for some reason, the chat feature on YouTube is being not very fun. But also, there's 17 minutes until the deadline, and I have not made a single move. And I probably should. Adam is saying, lock it in. I never enjoy taking transfer penalties, but Red Bull are looking too good to ignore. Antonelli set and forget at the top of the team, and Hadjar should be raking it over points at back. Where are you going with this week? Damn. We're all kind of converging on that team again. Okay, JB, I found your question. Have Hamilton, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Lawson, Ferrari, Mercedes to change to Mercedes, Red Bull, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Hulkenberg. I can only take Alonso, Perez, or Bottas. I would probably take Alonso, JB, because he has a tiny sliver of hope of getting a price rise, and that might be the only thing that is anywhere near redeemable among those three teams. Best Tier A driver, I think, is Kimi Antonelli. Red Bull or Mercedes this week, can't have both, keeping Ferrari. Mercedes for me. Lando or Hadjar with the 2X. Oof. Probably Lando. I think he has slightly more drive of the day upside just because of the Lando hive. F1 TV just showed Hamilton's car. Presenter said it looked good for quality, but not official yet. Thank you, Alligator. Very much appreciated. Yep. That is awesome. That is good news. That is good news. That is good news. -10 to get in Red Bull. It's very close, Owen. I think I would, though. I think it feels like the aggressive play. You just got to make sure that you can get back to Ferrari pretty easily next week in Hungary, because I think that will be a Ferrari track. SWC 913. If you ask it again, Joe, I'm having problems with the chat today. I'm sorry. It's not being very cooperative. Pabooster, Mercedes, Red Bull, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Behrman, Alonso, or Hulkenberg, Alonso. Bortoleto and Hulkenberg for me. Siobhan says Antonelli, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari. Do I get Red Bull for -10 and thoughts on autopilot? Cooling on autopilot, to be honest. We'll probably play it on my T3 team just because it's something fun to do. Red Bull or Ferrari if for a next week for -10. I would just keep Ferrari then. I wouldn't, yeah. So Behrman or Alonso? Behrman. Joe says Antonelli, Hadjar, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Mercedes, Racing Bulls with autopilot, or Antonelli, Lindblad, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Mercedes, Red Bull. Probably the second option, Joe. It's a little bit more plain Jane, but it's okay. I have Mercedes and Ferrari right now. Are we thinking of changing Ferrari for Red Bull? I am, yes. Red Bull or Ferrari if next week is -10. I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it because I think we're going to have to bring Ferrari back in next week. So if you can do it for free, yes. If you can't do it for free, no. And like Ali said, I am trying to get to everybody's question, but the chat is not being the scrolling is all over the place, and then I lost my spot, or I had to reset the chat, and then it kind of deleted the chat for where I could add everything in. So does a wild card remove your extra transfers? Yes. Well, I mean, it deletes all your negative points from the extra transfers. Same team T as you with 3.5 Ferrari to Red Bull and Lawson. Yep, love that. 2X, Antonelli or Hadjar? Antonelli for me. Hadjar to Lawson, Ferrari to Red Bull? No, keep Hadjar. How do we use the autopilot chip selected on fancy tools? What counts as a good percentage, or what does it represent? I guess just the odds of like Hadjar beating Antonelli's score. So 45% seems pretty good to me. All right, can we get some confirmation that Lewis Hamilton to Antonelli and roll? Oh, damn. That is very tough, Rain. I'm going to be a chart follower this week. I want to budget gains in a week where many are sacrificed on it. Also, it's transfer as well. Go Ferrari. Also, Sims are close, even ignoring it. Hamilton doesn't start from the pit lane. Okay. 3 free transfers for me, Elias. I could bring in Red Bull for Ferrari. I wouldn't 3x chip Austin. I could bring Red Bull Ferrari, but would have to take Call Pinto out to someone lower. Is it worth it? If you can do Call Pinto to Lawson, then probably, yeah. Mercedes and Bortoleto for -20 or not worth it in my T1. -20 is tough. That's tough. I probably wouldn't do it for that. All right, I am locking in. We're going to get this done. There's 10 minutes to go. Whew. Okay. T1 squad is going to be a little easy peasy here. Gonna do a little Red Bull. Gonna get a little Kimi Antonelli on the boost. Bada bing, bada boom. My 3 teams are, I think, 24K, 261 in the world, and then like 30K Opolis. All right. And then this is, I'm somehow burning another transfer on this T2 squad. It's ridiculous. Also, can I finally, maybe I actually have time to get it in order so I don't go, still don't love it, but that's okay. Red Bull or Ferrari to Red Bull. There we go. That's one change. And then here, I'm going to bring in Lindblad to Bortoleto. I'm going to bring in Lando Norris. Going to bring in Bortoleto. Going to put the 2X on Antonelli, but I am going to play the autopilot chip because it's fun to do fun things. And then I will have 3 free transfers on my squad, and we will be good to go. And then I can post this on X. So, oh, there we go. Ah, do 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 do. The lineup is locked for the Belgian Grand Prix. Buying into the Red Bull hype and trying to play more aggressive for once. Good luck, everyone. See y'all on the other side. Buying into the Red Bull hype and trying to play more aggressive for once. That can only probably mean bad things, but there we go. Okay, now I am back to being all yours. So these are my squads. These are my squads. It's all locked in. I'm not doing anything different anymore. Hulkenberg to Lawson / Bortoleto, worth it for -10? If yes, which one? For -10, that's tough, but for the budget building upside, I guess I would go with Lawson. Is moving from Ferrari to Red Bull worth moving from Bortoleto to Stroll / Bottas? Nope. I have had Antonelli. I have had Jar, Antonelli, Lawson, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari. Is it good? It is good. Manu, hey man, currently have Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, 3 free transfers, 1.9 in the bill. Thanks. I think you're good there, Manu. It's good. Does the math work out in favor of Lawson Red Bull versus Hadjar Ferrari? I would go Hadjar Ferrari. Hadjar or Ant for 2X. I'm going to go with Antonelli. Is keeping Ferrari this weekend a mistake? It's not a mistake, but I think there's a bigger upside play with Red Bull if you can do it for free. Should I transfer Ferrari for Red Bull if it means I do Bortoleto to Hulkenberg? Yep, you should. Should I bring Bortoleto to Hulkenberg for budget? LO, I can do this on T1, but we'll have to keep Ferrari. Also, I can do your exact same team. Should I do Bortoleto to Hulkenberg for budget? I mean, I would do Hulkenberg to Bortoleto, Mr. Best. That's what I would do. Is this a good AP week or autopilot week? See, I kind of was thinking that, but then we've been talking over the last couple hours, and I think I have cooled off of it. But on that T3 squad where I have Antonelli, Norris, and Hadjar, it just feels like too ideal of a moment with all of these grid penalties to kind of just not play it. So I'm going to play it. Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Hadjar, Lindblad, Mercedes, Racing Bull, still 5.6 million left. What to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yikes. Can you do Hulkenberg to Bortoleto and Lawson to Colapinto? Maybe that's what you should do. Are you still thinking of potentially bringing in Norris with final fix after qualifying? Not anymore. That's the only problem with this T2 squad is now I can't. I won't be able to do Antonelli to Norris on the final fix, which isn't ideal, but so Rain can do it on his team. He has 1.1 million left over. Let's see. Adam didn't give us his cost cap. Rob wouldn't be able to afford it either. So why no Russell? Because he's slower than Antonelli. Why did you pick Hulkenberg in T1 over Bortoleto? Because I don't have enough money. Because I went Hamilton up to Antonelli, and I went Ferrari up to Red Bull, Aryan. So Bortoleto Behrman versus Hulkenberg Lawson. Hulkenberg Lawson for me. Hadjar and Ferrari, or Lawson and Red Bull? Hadjar and Ferrari. Sounds like I'm sticking with Antonelli. Should I trade Lawson for Hadjar? Yes, you should. Sounds like I'm sticking with Antonelli, Hadjar, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg with Ferrari, Mercedes for a second weekend. Huh? Can't make any moves with. Yeah, that is such a tough spot, Flame. Yeah, I'm burning another transfer in the T2 squad. It's ridiculous. Lawson or Bortoleto. What did I say? What did I say in my rankings? I have Lawson above Bortoleto. So that's what I would do, as my head was just chopped off for like the last 20 minutes probably. I'm going for lowest budget on one of my teams, currently at 71.9 million. Jeez, okay. Man casually plays V-Carb like a I love V-Carb. I wish we had to play one tier A and one tier B constructor. It'd be great. Bortoleto, Red Bull, or Lawson, Ferrari. Bortoleto, Red Bull for me. Mercedes, Red Bull, Colapinto / Lawson versus Mercedes, Ferrari, Hadjar. Hadjar gets a nod. As a Hamilton fan, should I stick to the 2x going on Ham and keep him for the risk, or go safe with Antonelli? I'd go safe with Antonelli. What's the possible points difference between using Red Bull over Ferrari? It's looking like it's 15 points right now, according to the Sims. Lawson, Bortoleto for Ferrari to racing or Red Bull? I would do that. What about Behrman instead of Bortoleto? I have the budget. Nah, I like Bortoleto better. I just don't think Haas are in a spot to really score points right now in F1. So, yeah, that's where we're at, unfortunately. Bortoleto over Hulk anytime, right? Yep. I would have done that move, Nano, but I went with the Ferrari to Red Bull move over Bortoleto to Hulkenberg, so it's fine. Ewan, how's the charity league going so far? It's going really well, Stefan. I sent out an email a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 Mondays ago. So hit me up on X if you're not getting those emails, because I think I should have your email, and I should have sent it to you. But I'm actually in third, which is a little embarrassing. I shouldn't be anywhere near the top of my own charity league. Based on you, 3136, longtime viewer, first-time poster. Welcome. And one of my teams, I'm going for Norris over Antonelli. Okay, Noah. There we go. I like it. Lawson to Bortoleto, second Ferrari to Red Bull. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Yes, it is, Brian. Yes, it is. Would you hit the AP chip if you had a team with Antonelli, Norris, and Hadjar? Is what I asked. 227 votes. 70% said yes. 30% said no. And that's what I did. I hit the autopilot chip on my T3 squad. Ferrari or V-Carb? Ferrari. Ferrari. Yes, please. I see some questions still coming in, but like I said, the chat is being weird. Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Lawson, Hadjar, Red Bull, Mercedes with 1.7 million left. You're in a really strong spot. Unless you want to do the Lawson to Colapinto move. Feels a little bit sideways for me. But other than that, you're fine. I have the same T2 squad as you with 3 transfers. I have enough budget to switch to Red Bull and Bortoleto. Should I burn the 3 transfers or just stick with the same? I would bring in Red Bull and Bortoleto if I could. Yeah, I definitely would. CypherX. If we only have Antonelli, Hadjar, no autopilot, right? Yep, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I've done. I don't trust the Red Bull hype train enough. That's fine. I'm just trying to be aggressive. I've been so passive for so long. I'm just trying to play a little bit aggressive. Where are we at? 49 seconds to go. We have gone over 6,000 subs today, everybody. So thank you. That is fantastic. 6K by the summer break has been achieved. And yeah, I guess we're going for 7 now. So we are good to go. I could go from Ferrari to Red Bull, but have to take Colapinto down to Bortoleto at -10. Worth it? No, probably not, actually. DSL MPA. Probably not worth it, so I probably wouldn't go. M.97 is locked in, as am I. Jeez Louise, here we are. We are locked and loaded. We're on Red Bull all of a sudden. Didn't think I'd be saying that at the start of the week. Not gonna lie. The easy move I thought I was gonna make was Hulkenberg to Bortoleto, and I still have Nico Hulkenberg in my team somehow. So that is where we are at, everybody. And the deadline has passed. We are locked and loaded. It is 4 p.m. It is time to go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Yep. You guys are awesome. You guys have absolutely crushed it. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. No race review tomorrow because my sister-in-law is in town, so we'll be hanging out with her a little bit, but all the content will be back next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We got a double header, so team selection, Q&A stream. Maybe I'll just bust out a transfer targets as well, along with final thoughts, deadline stream, and then also we'll do a race review next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix because it is the end of the first half. So it'll be a summer break. It'll be a summer break race review. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. You guys have also crushed it, get me past 6,000 subs. So enjoy quali, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will be back on Monday. So once again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.